Good morning, good afternoon. Today's Monday, October 29th, and we're doing the morning business headline commentary. So we're approaching the Halloween and the general holiday season euphoria in buying gifts, Black Friday, and giving gifts, and bodes well for people that's in the business of selling, retailing. All right, so let's go into the business. All right, so another deadly crash. Um, it's a Boeing. All right, 737. All right. So with these Southeast Asian, as we know from the previous major missing airplane, something is just not implemented. The safety features. Um, in comparison to Norwegian and Ryanair, I trust those low price airline more because they at least implement the baseline safety features where these Southeast Asian airlines doesn't quite click on safety features. All right, so maybe it's the culture that they're okay with that or missing airplanes and crashing airplanes, but um, yeah, that's fine with them if they want to do it that way. IBM buying Red Hat, like some maybe she's an older lady that missing stuff. The CEO IBM, open source software like operating system like Linux. Red Hat is based on one of these Linux, and they made a business on on work that they do develop. Um, that's okay. We do need certain level of these kind of stuff. Uh, if everybody's so goddamn smart, you can really arbitrage. So that's okay. If I was like dealing with Linux, I would immediately or quickly fork the Red Hat Linux because Red Hat Linux is based on other people's work, so you can base on their work as well to a large extent, and maybe call it like a Red Hat Linux, Red Hat Linux, or like Pink Hat Linux or something like that. And then you immediately and quickly have $1 billion organization. All right, HSBC doing like relatively better, cutting costs. They realize like other banks that they shouldn't be overpaying, you know, some fraternity bro or like diversity attack or like inclusion attack, where they overpay people for doesn't know how to do much. So it's some other banks other than GS will be getting these stuff really quickly, but GS will be able to afford a lot of these stuff. But they don't realize when they accept these what I just mentioned. That's okay. They can afford it, and they displace and replace certain people that they actually have qualified. That's fine. They can afford it, and they choose to hand or not understanding how to handle these things. Um, Plastic waste. This is a question of better chemistry. You know what I'm saying? We have a problem that we can solve, like biodegradable after a certain period of time, better biodegradability of materials. And the previous generation of plastic was able to solve that like cheap container stuff of liquids or other like food materials. Now the next generation of chemistry will be making it with the same properties, but biodegradable after 2 or 5 years threshold, something like that. Um, while maintaining affordability of the container. Um, all right. Ryanair, also like a Norwegian, as I mentioned, probably like my comments making some waves a little bit. Like I said, like Ryanair and Norwegian still maintaining good quality by lowering costs. The European, European culture, they're romantic a little bit while maintaining, customer quality, so to speak. Like I mentioned, their business model works. They should start buying more airplanes and expanding into other routes, more like New York, major cities in the U.S. or even Asia, if the business model works like they have so far. All right, fracking coming into. I mean, I'm sure they still develop in R&D on fracking, where they don't do as much bad stuff to the environment with better materials and better like fracking operational materials. And the United States are leading the way in oil production again. From the promise of the previous two presidents ago that they want to increase production. All right, so that's the reason why there was a major drop in crude oil pricing from highs to the even 30s for a short while. And you remember when the crude oil was like before the Bush wars, it was in the 30s per barrel, and nobody was complaining. And it was like, why don't we sell high oil price and causing wars and stuff? They open a Pandora's box by making conflicts and so forth like that with the wars I mentioned, which we're still fighting. You know what I'm saying? If you like, relatively speaking, if you want to like determine who's the the anti something, that's your guy. We have a 17-year war. All right, let's go to CNBC a little bit. All right, CNBC. Dow Jones bouncing back a little bit, trying to build a cushion like the Asian markets did last Monday. Um, and also, we're entering into the holiday season, being kicked off by Halloween usually season, where major purchases made. Like a lot of people buy major Halloween costume for the fun of it, for the celebration, and eventually they stop building the traffic in the retailers to buy gifts, building into Black Friday, and continue on with the other people that didn't have time to buy and building into Christmas giving. Everybody getting into season, and a lot of people would be very angry if they don't have a happy holiday season and being able to buy interesting gifts for other people and themselves. All right. So you see, Morgan Stanley is still maintaining with the CEO Goldman quality and beating, maintaining like merit, because they used to be not number one, and they have the motivation to be number one, and they emphasize on merit a little bit more. So you should be listening a little bit more um, because they're making the effort into it. So Berkshire, normally I would say something is approaching very advanced age, and he has the excuse to miss a lot of anything he wants, because of his advanced age. I would emphasize learning what he did when he was younger and sharper, you know, and I followed his past, successes than the, current successes, because they miss several of them, like in technology. And he uses a flip phone and then turn around and invest in Apple, which uses the smartphone. So that tells you a little irony there. But he has an excuse because he's advancing in age now, you know, and like he wants something simple to use, and that's what he does. And his phone is probably be 3G, and he'll probably encounter some troubles as the networks begin to migrate even further ahead. As you know, the 5G stuff. So they'll be abandoning the support of 3G phones for his flip phone. Well, it depends what like. You like to, because what you hear in the news, and the guy went to Hong Kong and then to the country north of China. You don't really want to engage in facial recognition, if you know what I'm saying. Once they create a record of your stuff, it's like that's it. Um, so some things you may want to let other people use it first, like all those you know things that manage your house. You let other people manage it first, and when they end up in the news, and just say, "All right, that's pretty cool." As long as it's cool, you do it, okay? But I wouldn't want to be the one doing it with you, like the stuff that you manage your house, the technology, and same thing stuff right here. If you like, being cool with self-driving stuff in a city, you do it. I have no opinion against it or for it, but for me, just like some people say, like, it's not for me, but you can do it. Just like they say about paper money, like, and then you have to let other people try it out and play it out a little bit. So as I mentioned before, she'd probably be a little bit more successful as a fashion industry, which is a fair and legit industry. Okay, fashion, like are really dominated by fashionistas. You know, but I this is like a don't make sense. As I mentioned, Red Hat OS Linux. As you know, Linux is open source and have many varieties, but ultimately a lot of them are based on one Debian, and another one which Red Hat's based on, which is like work they didn't do themselves. Basically, it's open source. They're able to borrow all these work from others, and then they'll be able to resell it. And in that sense, another organization, if you're you and me, can actually fork Red Hat Linux, and then we call it maybe like Red Hot Hat Linux, and then tell everybody it's a fork from Red Hat. You're borrowing the name, and you don't have to pay royalty by saying that. We forked it from Red Hat Linux, and then we have a very quickly $1 billion organization, which we can find other people like her to maybe interested in buying as well. Because I don't think she understood the whole details, which is a kind of like a guy thing, like guys who are sometimes a little bit weird, but they're good at these, the detailing of open source software. So you see, like every year, Red Sox and other teams play for playoffs. There's a demographic of people that likes to play the same game over and over again, like eating cheeseburgers or play on Nintendo Super Mario Brothers nonstop, the same game over and over again. I don't know, like once we have a generation now that deal with modern concept like cell phones, fractal antennas. You kind of want to try other games. Again, this is a game where children can play. You don't have to have facial hair to play it and be paid a lot for doing a children's game. Like for me, I like to play sometimes basketball and get good at it, but I sometimes get bored of it. Like I seen play with other guys that like pay attention as it's their dear life. That is the only game around in town. So then I move on to soccer and get good at it. And again, I see people just over enthusiastic on for a game that children can play. It's supposed to be meant for anybody can play because it's a game. So the same thing with Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox. That's why they have a variety of competitive games to make it fun for anything. So you can drive very well by learning how to race games in racing, and then transfer it into driving safely and quickly, and sometimes like that. And you can play other games like golf, baseball, football, and sometimes they exaggerate certain features of the game so you can make it fun. Like you can I remember a game that in football you can punch through the whole team using a special key in the game. So it was very fun, like exaggeration stuff. So, I mean, like I remember it is the same value of watching. I know there's a lot of guys like World Series, even gamble on it. That's your opinion, and that's fine. But I'm saying the same value. Like I watched it in 1997. Maybe like the Yankees, like play the playoff, have the same values today. They didn't even change the games at all. It's the same game that anybody can play. All right, Angela Merkel. So she is readying her business as the chancellor, and there may be another challenger to succeed her. Well, she is unique. She's like one of the ones that emphasize a skill in language, in multiple languages, her skill in her cultural understanding, her skill in making deals for her own country when it needs the most, and stuff off like that. So it's rare, like I mentioned, there are smart guys and not so smart guys in financials in other industries. So same thing with women. There's a smart woman and not so smart woman. In general terms, there's smart people, smarter than other people in in things that they do. All right, the lottery won. So that'll be interesting. Yeah, so we see the super high combination of 70 plus numbers from maybe around 50 before. It'll be like bunching up a lot of higher jackpots because like the combination is much higher, and adding another one number to match to multiply in the combinations if you know your math. All right, all right, all right. Today's Monday, October 29th, nearing we're in Halloween season. There are many parades over the weekend with featuring children and pets in costumes. And on the day of the Halloween, like around the Soho area, there'll be like a massive anybody custom parade, which is very fun. I remember seeing somebody with a ID card over his head as a custom, and his face was in a photo area of the ID. So that was very very fun. Get a laugh out of that. Yeah, so I think they would do another like a Michael Jackson danceathon, featuring his like horror um, music song. Okay, so that'll be fun too. Well, I've seen it already once, so I'll just see it on the TV. All right, so right now the Dow Jones are getting the seasonal euphoria beginning. I mean they'd be down at 24,000 already, so they have much room to go anywhere. All right, so see oil again, continuing the general trend of realizing it's a last hurrah. Um, all right, go hang around a little bit. I mean, eventually they'll go down, in the general trend because like I mentioned many times already. Now, no, I see nobody wearing gold like in practical circumstances. I mean, they're risking crime, they're risking some people bumping into you for no apparent reason, and then your gold is gone. All right, FX, not major moves, I guess. All right. So, all right, today's a Monday, October 29th, and we're doing the morning business headline commentary. Something of note. I did feature Goku and Gohan of Dragon Ball, which is owned by Funimation, and Funimation became a takeover target after I featured Goku and Gohan in my eating cooking demo videos. Um, some of these have very good storylines, even though they're animations, but they did very well. They don't insult your intelligence, your children's intelligence, like holding a stick and blabber some words and anything could happen, that's an insult to your children's intelligence. They're more like, when you see these things, they're more detailed and reminds you of the stuff that you learn in school. So we a circular reinforcement, of like animations, cartoons that leverage the knowledge that you learn in school. That's why the culture is so good in technology. All right, something I also know, I do have like a lot of international followers, including Indian followers and Chinese business followers. India's Modi went for a big hug on Amazon after I featured Amazon in one of my featured videos listed below and dated. Um, also, like I did mention to the Hong Kong government to consider continuation of more landfilling since November of 2017, and now they're moving forward with plans to do landfilling much more. And I recommended further that they have a continuing long-term strategy where they can take advantage of raw materials at lower pricing, and see opportunity as they fit, and they should use it to grow the economy, because it's very expensive to do landfilling, and you should just use it to grow your economy to get your money back. All right, today's Monday, October 29th, 2018, and we're doing the morning business headline, morning business headline commentary. All right, happy Halloween, and then going to the holiday buying season, building into Black Friday, into Thanksgiving. Some people like to fry turkeys, but be careful when you fry turkey, because when you put your turkey into the frying container, the oil like filled up. So you maybe want to consider that instead, maybe filling the hot oil into halfway, so to give way into the turkey entry into the frying bowl or something, frying container or something. All right, so today's Monday, October 29th, 2018. Happy trading, everybody.